Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into some really interesting, relationship myths. We're talking 7 outdated ideas that many
Yeah,
couples still believe.
right. It's fascinating how these myths still persist even when science and common sense have moved on. What's the first myth we need to bust?
Okay, so myth number 1 is that compromise is the key to a healthy relationship. Now, the idea here is that both partners need to give up a
Yep,
little, but the truth is it can actually lead to resentment, right?
exactly. I mean, think about it. If you're always meeting halfway, sometimes you're sacrificing core values. How does one fix that?
Well, one suggestion is to use something like Dr. John Gottman's Art of Compromise exercise. That means both partners figure out what they're flexible about and what they aren't, to ensure each person's dreams are
Mhm.
respected.
That really makes sense. It isn't about just splitting the difference. It's about, negotiating in a way that honors both people's true needs.
Exactly. It's like uh, moving away from a one size fits all approach to something more creative. And speaking of creativity, myth number 2 is all about communication.
Right, the myth that open communication is the key. But it's not as simple as just talking all the time, is it?
Right. No, definitely not. Many times when people say open communication, they mean just speaking their mind without considering timing or context. For instance, checking if your partner is available before launching into a heavy
Yeah, exactly.
conversation.
It's like trying to have a deep talk when one partner is just, too busy or distracted. That stuff can really derail the conversation.
Absolutely. And then there's myth number 3, the notion of don't sweat the small stuff. But if you're too sensitive or if one partner is perceived as too cold, it might actually be a sign of deeper disconnect.
hmm I've seen that too. It's often labeled as the waffle spaghetti dynamic. Reminds me of how our brains process information. Men might compartmentalize while women might, make connections.
Yes, and interestingly, that dynamic doesn't strictly stick to gender lines. Even in same sex relationships, you might find that one partner processes things in a more compartmentalized way, while the other is all about association.
Right. That understanding really helps to avoid taking things personally, doesn't it? It all comes down to knowing and respecting those differences.
Absolutely. Now, my next point, myth number 4, is about intimacy, where some believe intimacy will decrease over time, but that's not necessarily true.
Yeah. Right, so how does one maintain that spark?
Well, the key is to intentionally create moments of connection. Think about planning regular date nights, not just the routine dinner, but something exciting like a new adventure or a surprise outing. It's about fostering connection day to day.
I love that. It's like building a mini ritual that keeps the creative, romantic energy alive. And isn't there a nod to something called the Adventure Challenge in there?
Yes, exactly. The idea is to shake up the routine. Even if you're pressed for time, trying something new can really reignite that spark.
That sounds great. Now, what about myth number 5? Money will break you up. That's one that really gets people thinking.
Sure, this one's interesting because it's not so much about money itself, but rather the negativity bias. Dr. Gottman, for example, discovered that a 5:1 ratio of positive to negative interactions is crucial in
Right.
conflict.
So it's more about how you interact around conflicts rather than money being the root cause. That really shifts the focus onto appreciation and, positivity, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly. Think about it. Establishing a ritual of appreciation, maybe every evening share 3 things you're grateful for about your partner, can really help fortify the relationship against negativity.
It's a proactive way to counteract that negativity bias our brains are wired for.
Definitely. Moving on, myth number 6 is actually a double myth. Either talk everything through or preserve the peace by not making a fuss.
Interesting, right? Because on one hand, one partner might want to hash everything out immediately, while the other might prefer to cool off.
Yes, it's about balance. The recommended approach is to set a timeout when things start to escalate, a specific, agreed upon duration like 20 minutes or an hour, then reconnect to resolve the conflict.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see some couples resisting that idea, though, maybe feeling it prevents immediate resolution.
True, but it actually prevents rash decisions and helps maintain emotional regulation. It's a step away from letting conflict boil over.
Getting that time out, then coming back ready to talk, seems way more constructive than either extremes.
Exactly. And that brings us to myth number 7. Never go to bed angry. Now, while the slogan sounds good, resolving conflicts right before bed isn't usually a smart idea.
Yep, that's true. By late night, our brains are just too tired for that deep, critical discussion.
Right. Studies show our capacity for decision-making is pretty much spent by mid-evening. So instead, it's better to remind each other of the love and plan a concrete time, maybe the next morning, to talk things through.
That sounds so much healthier. Like knowing that it's okay to leave unresolved issues for a bit, because you'll handle them when you're both fresh.
Exactly. It's all about timing, managing emotions, and having realistic expectations. Each of these myths essentially asks us to break away from old, rigid ideas and adopt strategies that are more in line with our modern understanding of relationship dynamics.
I'm curious, though. Do you ever feel that some of these strategies might still face resistance if one partner is, overly set on the traditional ways?
Oh, absolutely. There can be a tension there. For example, someone might insist that conflict needs immediate resolution, clinging to that never go to bed angry idea, even if it's more harmful. It's a respectful challenge to push for change.
Right. It takes a lot of trust and openness to try something new, especially in long-standing patterns.
Exactly. And that's why coaches like Don Smith emphasize that it's never too late to learn and apply the science of habits and relationships. It's about gradually flipping those outdated scripts and building a more understanding, connected partnership.
Yeah, I love how practical these points are. When you break down these myths, it's not just about debunking an idea, but really creating a strong, supportive environment where both partners can flourish.
Absolutely. It's about taking science-backed, realistic strategies and weaving them into everyday life. You know, little changes like ritual appreciation, mindful timing in conversations, and even creative, fun dates can transform how a relationship functions.
Right. And it really highlights that relationships aren't about following a rigid set of rules, but evolving with mutual growth and understanding.
Exactly. It's like learning a new dance. Sometimes you stumble a bit, but with practice, the rhythm becomes more natural.
That's a great analogy. And respecting each other's unique pace and style in that dance, even if one prefers a fast tempo and the other a slow beat, is what builds a lasting connection.
Exactly. So by disrupting these outdated myths and embracing the tools and science behind successful relationships, couples can build deeper, more meaningful connections over time.
Right, exactly. It's been an enlightening chat. I think these ideas really pave the way for healthier dynamics. Thanks for breaking that down so, clearly.
No problem at all. It's all about sharing knowledge to help people thrive in their relationships.
Absolutely. And for anyone listening, remember, adapting to change can be the key to unlocking a stronger, more resilient relationship.
Exactly. Keep questioning those old myths and stay open to learning new ways to nurture your connection.
Thanks for joining this engaging conversation. Until next time, keep those relationships lively and thoughtful.